cumulus clouds overhead and a nice crowd gathering as we get things going. Game 3 of the series. Higgins misses with a breaking ball. Max Williams will start things for the Seminoles today. 278 average in league action. 1 for 8 so far in this weekend set. Good change up there from Higgins to even the count. Seems like that's going to be the big pitch if Higgins is going to be successful.
Yeah, this team really, really good on the fastball, so we'll have to work both of those consistently and with command.
To the left side, Ben Miller gives it a look. The 2 strikes now on Williams.
Fastball just hang in there.
Williams, you mentioned 1 for 8 in the series with that double, but he's been on base a fair amount of times. A walk and a hit by pitch this weekend. Fastball misses from Higgins, and it's 2-2.
Fastball just hang in there.
Yeah, coming into this weekend, super, super hot. Last 8 coming into Friday night. Williams batting .485 has sort of struggled hitting-wise, but has found his way on, and that's what you have to do as a leadoff batter.
Fouled away again, and a really quality at bat here by Williams to start the game. 2-2 count, 6 pitch coming for Higgins. Big in a couple of ways. It showcases what Higgins has to the rest of the dugout, right? But these are 2 teams that have gone deeper into their bullpen, will have to go deeper into the bullpen today. So as quick as you can drive with the pitch count for the opposing starting pitcher, seems like a plus for either side this afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a feeling we'll see a lot of guys coming out of both of these bullpens today. And like you mentioned, Chris, not only is that a factor in terms of rising the pitch count and seeing pitches as a leadoff, but getting the data points for your team, passing that information along.
Williams stays alive. Where does Higgins go here? 3-2. 8th pitch of the at-bat coming. Williams, by the way, might have caught one off of the lower body. So the athletic trainer out to check on him. Phil Montano and Link Jarrett out to check on the FSU leadoff hitter.
Yeah, nothing hurts worse than when you barrel one up off yourself. Here, we'll take a look. Breaking ball right off the front right toe of Williams. Never feels good. And now he's got to jump back in. 8th pitch of the AB and find a way on if you're Florida State, and for Higgins, settle in, fill up the count.
Come on, Max.
Payoff pitch. And we'll do it again. Williams kind of the throwback. He doesn't wear the shin guard like you see a lot of baseball guys now.
Yeah, or the elbow guard even.
Yeah.
I mean, for a leadoff guy trying to see pitches, he actually gets pitched pretty inconsistently. A little bit surprising. I would be wearing all of that stuff.
The 3-2 again. Got him. Higgins goes to the off speed for the first strikeout.
The junior showing off all 3 pitches, got a steady diet of fastballs. Here is the off-speed changeup, working away from the barrel of Williams, gets the first punch out of the game, and a lead out, so crucial, especially when you've got to face a guy like Cam Smith.
16th strikeout for Duke pitching this weekend. And Smith digging in for the Noles. And he takes an off speed for a strike. Another one of those talented sophomores for Link Jarrett's club. Smith 3 for 8 this weekend, and he's in a 2-strike hole. Smith, as we talked about, one of the best prospects coming out of the Cape Cod League this past summer, has really catapulted him to what's been a phenomenal sophomore campaign.
Yeah, coming from his freshman season to now here in his sophomore campaign, the strikeouts are down, the power is up, the consistency has been a great improvement for Cam Smith in the batter's box, and he also plays it really, really well defensively.
He's also reached base in 52 consecutive games. If you're curious, the Florida State record, 67 consecutive games by some guy named Buster Posey.
I heard he's pretty good.
Yeah, it's all right. 2-2. Another full count for Higgins. Payoff pitch again from the Duke right-hander is lined to left, a base hit. Over the outstretched arm of Wallace Clark, and the Seminoles with a one-out base runner.
Really nice swing here. Higgins goes with the breaking ball. Nice location, maybe a little bit up, but credit Cam Smith, gets his barrel out in front of him, kills time with his legs, and gets a single.
Know where those outfielders are, know where your defense is.
See the reach base streak there, up to 10th now in program history.
Come on, hey, go get your grab ball, get us in.
Still a ways to go to get to the all-time record. As the first pitch to Tibbs is fouled away. Duke's done a really nice job against Tibbs overall this weekend. Just 1 for 8 in the series. And that one misses with a fastball, 1-1. Hammered down the right field line, but foul. Tibbs out in front of the changeup there, just a noisy strike, and it's 1-2 on the FSU right fielder. To right center, another base hit. Into the alleyway. Obi over to cut it off. Tibbs on his way to second, and they're at second and third with one man out for the Noles.
Another great piece of hitting by James Tibbs. Goes with the changeup, hangs up there, Tibbs. Kills time with the legs. I mean, so balanced, solid swing. And barrels this pitch into right center. Cam Smith using the wheels, gets to third base. Tibbs with a double. And the Noles have something cooking here in the first.
Just too good of a two-strike pitch that time from Higgins. Now Dingus digs in. Early RBI chance for the Noles. And Dingus takes strike one.
Come on, go. Right.
0-2 on the FSU DH. Talked earlier about the importance of getting ahead in the count for this Duke pitching staff. Higgins, a first pitch strike to 3 of the first 4 hitters today, but he's not been able to put them away, with the exception of Williams. That one all the way to the backstop. Runner racing for home and scoring. Smith gives the Noles a 1-0 lead.
And this fastball just getting away from Ryan Higgins. Up, and Alex Stone has struggled more than we've seen him used to struggling in terms of blocking balls up or getting in front of pitches, and that one hurts. 0-2 count, second and third. Of course, the pitch gets away. It goes down as a wild pitch, but Florida State strikes first.
Another fastball inside, 2-2. I don't think 1 or 2 runs is going to win the game today.
No.
But is important for both these staffs to minimize when they have opportunities this afternoon. 2-2. Out to right center. Obi on the move. Makes the catch. Tibbs will tag. And Florida State by 2 in the first. Florida State has now struck first in all 3 games. And it's been certainly a recipe to success for Link Jarrett's club all weekend long.
Yeah, I mean, the offensive depth has just been on display up and down the lineup. And even when these guys get behind, for example, Marco Dinge's 0-2 count there, they work deep in accounts, they find a ball over the plate, and they just make things happen. And we see Florida State going up 2-0 early in this one. Chris, I think you're right. I don't think this will be a 2-0 ball game if we finish in the 9th, but we didn't think that in the first game either. We didn't think that 4 runs would hold up.
I thought it would.
You did.
I did. I told you. I said there might be more than enough for Jamie Arnold.
That's true. That's true.
And it was. Oh, swing and a miss there, 0-2. But I get what you're saying. But you got to be careful, even with 2 strikes here against Ferrer, who has been so clutch for the Seminoles, those 2 home runs this weekend. Yanks that one foul.
Yeah, I imagine pitching against this offense, there's no count that feels comfortable at all. And Ryan Higgins doing a nice job of getting in those 2 strike counts on every single batter thus far. Here gets 0-2 again, but I mean, credit this Florida State offense for battling.
Fastball misses. Higgins threw against Virginia Tech last week, 3 1/3 innings, 3 hits, couple of strikeouts. The 1-2 to 2-2 now. That's what makes this Florida State team so tough. They don't strike out a lot, they don't walk a lot, they just put balls in play. Still 2-2. Florida State entering action today, 3rd in the league in batting average, 1st in slugging, 5th in on base. They walked 12th in terms of ACC numbers, 12th in the ACC in walks overall. They don't strike out a lot. Just a complete club for Link Jarrett's team. What a turnaround for Florida State, a team that missed the NCAA tournament a year ago and are on the doorstep of possibly not just hosting a regional, but being a top 8 national seed.
Yeah, the way they've played baseball this week, and particularly the bullpen coming in, and that was sort of the question mark coming into the series, how they've pitched and their offensive depth. I mean, they're top 8 seed in my mind.
Payoff pitch, and that's ball 4. A lengthy first inning continues for Ryan Higgins for the Seminoles. Cantu hitting over 300 in ACC play. Faces a first pitch breaking ball. See the numbers in the series for Cantu. 1 for 7. Back to the fastball, it's 0-2. Now it seems like the book wide open here for Higgins ahead 0-2.
Yeah, you can go back to the fastball up, or you can throw a back foot breaking ball in the dirt. But that's kind of been the theme thus far.
Goes back to the fastball, it ends the inning. Second strike out of the frame for Higgins, but Florida State some early offense. Zach Morris to open up the last of the first. Here's ball 1. Morris entering action today with a 13-game reach base streak, the longest on the team, longest active on the team. Didn't like that call. It's 1-1. Art Thigpen has the balls and strikes today. 1-2 now on Zach Morris. The only other ACC start for Lauk this year came on April 12th against Miami. 6 hits and 4 runs over 2 innings of work. Morris skies that one on the infield Farrow, the second baseman, lost it. And Morris is aboard.
Yeah, Sunday midday, Farrow battling the sun, tries to get the glove in front of it. Unable to come up with it. And Morris gets a lucky one there. And it goes down as a single in the scorebook.
Be a line drive in the box score. Pretty high sky today, too. Makes it tough.
Ready, ground ball, man.
What's that feeling like as an infielder or even an outfielder? Just have no idea where the baseball is at.
The worst, because, you know, coaches will teach, hey, put the glove in front of the sun, find a way, but that is an impenetrable force in the sky. If it's you versus the sun, your eyesight, you're going to lose if the ball is in the sun.
Miller skying one the other way. Tibbs retreating. He's at the wall. It's off the top of the fence. And they'll be at second and third for the Blue Devils with nobody out.
The sun kind of eating up the Knowles defense right now. Ben Miller actually gets handcuffed. Wind kind of blowing out to right field. Tim's unsure if he should jump. On this turf field, the warning track doesn't feel different under your feet. There's no gravel there. Ben Miller cashes in with his 17 double on the year.
Most on the team. To that point with the warning track, how much do you rely as an outfielder now on your teammates to say, hey, 3, 2, 1, to know where you're at on the field?
That's huge. That's huge. It's tough because I don't know if Max Williams out in center field had an angle, especially with the wind blowing that baseball out.
AJ Gracia takes one that bounces in. Also looked like Morris might have been tagging on that play. Is that a ball where you'd like to see him go halfway or 3/4?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's tough. It had Tibbs tracking back. Maybe Morris thought he could use his speed, tag up, get to second base, but you know, if he were halfway on that ball, there's a chance he scores.
And this is where the Blue Devils have struggled all series long. Runners in scoring position, trying to get the big hit here to tie the game. An eventful first inning again in Durham. And 3-0 on the rookie.
And if you're Chris Pollard and the rest of this Blue Devils team, this is the guy you want. 4 for 8 on the series, and you look at the numbers as a team, the situational hitting has not been there. I mean, they were pretty good yesterday, 4 for 12 with 2 outs. But double-digit left on base is never a good stat as a baseball team.
And now the base is loaded, nobody out for the Blue Devils. Injuries have bitten both these teams as Stone pulls one foul.
Yeah, not having Connor Whitaker and Cam Leiter is just, it's a bummer for baseball fans. It's a bummer for Link Jarrett. Those guys have been so big, especially in the starting role. But it's a good opportunity to get the freshman experience. And no better way to get your feet wet than to start game 3 against a really good Duke team.
Stone, a diving stop by Farrow to second for 1. No, they're going to call him out, they say on the transfer. So a run is in. Stone aboard at first, and the Blue Devils want to take a look here.
What a play by Farrow. Duke gets 1 on the board, but this is absolutely missiled by Stone. Forehand with the flip over to second base. I don't know if they had a chance to get 2, but you don't know based on Lodi's bobbling that ball, but what a play.
And now Duke is going to, Duke's going to challenge the transfer here to see if Lodi's actually secured it. I don't know. Remember, it's called out on the field, so you've got to see that inconclusive evidence. And he's out. And the call is confirmed, we're being told, so nice job by the umpiring crew to get that one right. And Duke with the tying run now 90 feet away. And Logan Bravo coming up. takes a breaking ball outside. We mentioned at the top of the inning for Lauk, primarily fastball. So if you're Duke offensively, do you sit on that fastball?
I think so. Until he has the command with the breaking ball, which that's a very good pitch.
So by sitting on it, does that almost eliminate one pitch from his arsenal? Or is it too early to try to do that?
Potentially, but he's got life on the fastball. So even if you sit on it, maybe Bravo's sitting on it there, you still got to execute. And Brady Lauk, I mean, the strikeout numbers speak for themselves. Anytime you go 1 for 1 in terms of 1 strikeout per inning, that's solid. He's got more than that. And so that tells you that the fastball has life, and he mixes in the breaking ball just enough to keep hitters off balance.
Fastball misses there on Bravo to even the count. Lauk, who is the program's all-time wins and strikeout leader from his high school. Also played golf in high school. 2-sport athlete. 3-2 now. What'd you think about putting Stone in motion here? Not maybe a straight steal, but a hit and run or a run and hit?
Potentially, what I worry about Logan Bravo, high strikeout numbers, so you risk the strike him out, throw him out.
Not going, and hammered to left, a base hit. Miller will score, and the Blue Devils have tied the game in the first inning as Bravo drives in his 42nd of the year. And much better for Duke today in terms of runners in scoring position and capitalizing on this opportunity.
Yeah, Logan Bravo has had a number of opportunities throughout the first 2 games. Runners in scoring position, less than 2 outs, and he's been K'd up. So for him, a huge, huge swing there. Get the ball in the outfield, get the single, and get the RBI.
Clark shows bunt and takes the ball. Nice series for Wallace Clark toward the bottom of the Duke batting order. A couple of doubles this weekend for Clark. 3 hits overall for the Blue Devil shortstop. Lines that one foul the other way. And it was Clark who had one of the hardest hit balls of the game yesterday in the last of the 9th inning, but right at Farrow, the second baseman, that ended the game. 2-1. Chase the high fastball there. It's 2-2. Let's go back to the breaking ball here.
I don't know, the fastball has a ton of life.
And paints the inside corner, strike 3. Right back to the fastball and a big second out for Lauk.
What a huge pitch for the freshman there. Wallace Clark doesn't K a ton, goes fastball and paints the inside edge. Wallace Clark didn't like it, but that's a pitcher's pitch right on the inner half. Really, really nice pitch by the freshman.
And it's up to Devin Obie if the Blue Devils will take a first inning lead. Obie, who had a monster game yesterday, both at the plate and in the field. Obie had that big home run for the Blue Devils to bring them back in the game, and then made a couple of great plays in the field, robbing extra bases perhaps a couple different times.
Yeah, he was huge yesterday on both sides of the ball, of course. Came up late, second and third, less than 2 outs, an opportunity to score and tie the game in the 9th. Popped it up, but throughout that game, he was crucial.
Fastball inside.
Lauk has found some command with the fastball inside to righties, and that will be huge, especially against Devin Obie, who swings it really well against the fastball.
Pops up another fastball. It's 2-2. Feels like that fastball maybe has some run in toward the right-handed hitters as well.
Yeah, and it's interesting when you look at the heat map of Brady Lauk. it typically stays arm side, meaning away to righties, but right now, you're right, riding in on the righties has a little bit of carry as well.
2-2 on Obi. Breaking ball out to right field. Tibbs underneath this one and ends the inning. Duke sends 7 men to the plate in the last of the first inning, and they tie the ball game up. A big hit from Logan. Higgins gets a swing and a miss. Another good off speed. And it's 1-1 on the Florida State shortstop. 246 average in the league this year.
There you go.
Good fastball from Higgins, 1-2. We've seen flashes out of Higgins in his career at Duke, being one of the best starters on the staff. Had a couple of really good starts last year. Back-to-back outings against Pittsburgh and Boston College to help win series for Duke. And he gets the strikeout here to open up the second.
Yeah, really nice start here by Higgins here in the second. Goes back to the breaking ball. Got Lodis on the second pitch of the AB. Gets him again. Nasty pitch on the outside head, mixed in with that fastball. Really, really hard to be on time for both.
It's just for Higgins, I think, like a lot of guys, finding a way to be consistent. The ball rolls to third. The bat goes helicoptering to first. And Jackson West is retired. Needs some more of that sticky substance on the end of his bat.
Yeah, this one sawed off the hands of Jackson West. Fastball, inside edge. Tries to get his barrel out in front of him, lets go of it. Ben Miller makes the play, and Ryan Higgins working quickly here in the second.
He got the barrel out in front, that's for sure. No problem getting the barrel out in front. 2 down for Faroux. And that one's fouled off the body of the Florida State second baseman. Faroux, the hometown kid out of Tallahassee, 0 for 3 this weekend. Boy, a economical second inning would be very big for Chris Pollard's club, as Higgins threw 35 pitches in that first inning.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, talking to Coach Pollard before the game, he mentioned he'd love to get 4 out of Higgins. Season high right now, sitting at 53 pitches, so not far off right now for Ryan Higgins, only in the top of the second.
Still 0-2 on Faroux. But a luxury for both of these teams to have some time off after today's game. A week off for Duke. They don't play again until next Sunday. Florida State doesn't play until Friday. So no midweek for either team. You can really, to borrow a poker term, cash in all your chips today.
Yeah, absolutely. And talking to Coach Pollard and Link Jarrett before this matchup, they said, look, we're going to battle like crazy, and then we're going to nap like crazy right afterwards.
The 1-2. Popped up, back of third, might be trouble. Foul, as Miller gave it a look.
So how about this Florida State team coming up to Durham, North Carolina, and battling these first 2 games with a bullpen that's laboring. Offense has proven to be good when it's mattered most. 2 out RBIs. Long ball has been in play a ton for this team. Huge couple of wins on the road in the ACC.
2-2 now on Faroux. And it's not been just one guy for the Seminoles. It's been a collective effort every single game. I mean, Ferrer has the 2 home runs, yes, but could point to Dingus, who had a home run yesterday as well. And that's on the inside corner, a breaking ball. And Higgins with his 4th strikeout.
Agree more, and even at the beginning of the year, I think Noles fans and this team maybe had a little chip on their shoulder starting off the year, 18 straight wins, and weren't ranked for the first couple of weeks. And I think that 9, it should be actually 6 or 7 based on how they've played baseball this weekend. And you look at the losses they've had, and particularly in the ACC, and it's been battles. I mean, Wake Forest last week, they lose a series, but had opportunities every single game to win. And then, of course, Clemson getting swept by them, but 2 out of 3 of those ball games were super tight as well. So you look at the loss column, not a lot there, and all of those ball games, barring a couple, were really close.
This is already their 5th ACC series win, and a victory for the Seminoles today would secure their 3rd ACC sweep of the year. Kyle Johnson takes outside. Johnson leading things off for Duke here in the second. The starting pitcher yesterday who was tabbed with the loss. He stays alive here on 3-2. And for my money, I don't really care what happens the last 3 weeks of the regular season. Link Jarrett should be the ACC Coach of the Year.
Yeah, maybe even the National Coach of the Year. He's got my vote.
And Kyle Johnson will coax a leadoff walk.
That's a really nice hit bat by Kyle Johnson, who had an incredible game 1 in the batter's box, going 3 for 3. Of course, started the game yesterday on the mound for this Duke team, but the freshman continues to have solid at-bats, to work counts, and there gets the base on balls.
Speaking of solid freshmen, here's Chase Cruson, who came off the bench yesterday, had a big 2-run hit for the Blue Devils. Takes strike 1. Cruson, in the way that it always seems to work out, originally committed to play for Link Jarrett when he was the head coach at Notre Dame. He went to Florida State, and Cruson finds his way here in Durham and has been a big piece of what the Blue Devils have done this season.
Yeah, he swung it well, and yesterday, a clutch AB, 2 RBI, single for Cruson, and Link Jarrett, you know, maybe he knows the scouting report.
West tried to bring that one back.
Come on now. Hey, ready to go?
Left on left here with nobody out in the second. Loop to left for a base hit. And the first 2 men have found their way aboard for the second straight inning.
And the freshman continues to have good ABs. This one, a fastball that gets on the hands, but the strength and power to be able to get it over the infield, the glove of Lodis. Really, really nice AB there by the freshman. And on the other side of things for Brady Lau with that 0-2 pitch just off the corner, 1-2 count. You give the base hit. Now you got to deal with the top of the lineup.
You think Morris bunts here?
Likely. I mean, Cam Smith's playing really far in.
Set a ground ball up the middle and a base hit. Turning the corner, Johnson racing for home. The throw comes to third and not in time. Zach Morris with his second hit and a 1-run lead for the Blue Devils.
Zach Morris said, wait, I'm not bunting, I'm swinging. This pitch, fastball outside half, ground ball up the middle, hard hit ball by the senior Zach Morris. All it takes, Drew Farreau playing true second base. Kyle Johnson, enough speed to score. Throw comes
for FSU a year ago. Had a pair of saves and an ERA of just over 4. Worked 58 innings. As we mentioned, called upon for the second straight day. Would love a ground ball. Miller takes ball 1. Miller scored the tying run for the Blue Devils in the first inning. Two and 0.
Ready to go. Go, Ben.
Armstrong, a third of an inning last night, 2 hits and a run, as Miller fouls one away.
Go, 3-4. Oh, be back. Go, Ben. Oh, 3-4.
3-1 now on Miller. Obviously, teams are loath to load the bases, but you do have a base open here if you're Florida State. Is this maybe trying to pitch around Miller or have Miller get himself out?
No, I mean, they've had a lot of success against Ben Miller, of course, in the first he gets the double, but that's a ball that James Tibbs would like to have back. And if you walk Miller here, you got to deal with Gracia, who's ate you up all week. So I don't think the 3-1 count there is an attempt to walk, especially with the amount of breaking balls that we're seeing out of the arm of the senior Armstrong.
3-2 now. There's Gracia, who's waiting in the wings. See the numbers for Gracia. At first, a payoff pitch on Ben Miller. Foul down the right field line. Three, 2. Got him with a high fastball. Big strikeout for Armstrong, the first out of the inning.
Goes right back to the heater, up in the zone. Ton of carry on that pitch for Armstrong. Huge strikeout. Miller unable to get his barrel on top. And that's a huge, huge out. And that's one of the ones you circle if you're Chris Pollard and this Duke team. First and third, nobody out, unable to cash in. Really nice pitch by the senior.
Now Gracia. And a left-on-left matchup. Takes strike one. Bounces away, but a good block by West as the count evens. It's interesting, early in the year we saw teams really put that pronounced overshift on against Gracia, playing him to pull. Florida State, though, has taken a different approach, playing him pretty much straight up.
Well, you got to have Cam Smith over at third base to hold the runner and also have the opportunity to turn a double play. And so who knows if bases were empty, how they would shift him, but an opportunity for Gracia, who is a pull hitter with a 3-4 hole.
I've seen him go the other way a couple of times this weekend, though, as a checking throw on Morris. Armstrong, who threw 16 pitches yesterday, hoping to give FSU a little bit of length. To center field, another base hit. And another run for the Blue Devils. 4-2 Duke.
And the freshman stays hot, takes a pitch, center cut, bullet up the middle for A.J. Gracia. Another RBI for the freshman, another hit for the freshman, his 5th on the weekend, and Duke extends the lead.
And it's Alex Stone now with 2 on and 1 out. By the way, that RBI for Gracia, as that one hits Stone, and the bases are loaded. That is Gracia's 44th RBI of the year, and that is a new freshman Duke record for rookie RBI in a season.
Yeah, and plenty of games to go for A.J. Gracia. What a year he's had. I mean, he doesn't swing it like a freshman at all.
And Gracia is 2 home runs away from tying the freshman home run record, or breaking the freshman home run record. 1 to tie, and 2 would give him that mark as well. Foul back. And Gracia has certainly gotten a ton of praise from his head coach throughout this season. But a chance for Duke to break it open here. Fastball upstairs. Bravo 3 for 5 with the bases loaded this year. And includes a grand slam. A wild pitch here, and a 3-run lead for Duke as Morris touches home.
Yeah, this one really an unfortunate bounce for Armstrong. Looked like it hit off the front of the plate, bounced right over Jackson West, who seemed to be ready to block up that ball, but nonetheless, goes down as a wild pitch, and Duke tacks on another.
By the way, all 5 of the runs this inning charged to Lauk, the freshman left-hander. And another one low, and a 3-1 count on Bravo. And now time is called, and West will saunter out for a visit. And there is activity in the Florida State Bull. Last batter for Armstrong. As that ball ripped toward right center field. Extra bases for Bravo. Gracia scores. Right behind him is Stone. It's a 2-run double for Bravo. And a 5-run Duke lead in the second.
Bravo 1 for 7 coming into the day, 2 for 2 here today, 3-1 count, hitters count, gets a fastball, elevates it, right center gap. An absolute missile off the bat of the Harvard transfer. Logan Bravo gets 2 RBI, and Duke extends the lead, and looks like Ling Jarrett.
And still only 1 man out this inning, with Wallace Clark digging in, the runner taking off for third, and sliding in safely is Bravo with his 6th stolen base of the year.
Yeah, welcome to the game. Hudson Rowe, and Logan Bravo reads it perfectly, times it up, takes advantage of the extra 90 feet. Really nice job by Logan Bravo. Looks like Ling Jarrett has a question for our umpiring crew.
I think he wants to challenge there, the play at third. This is what I wish we could just get rid of in the replay process. Is why do we have to have the huddle? Everybody knows if it's a reviewable play. And he's safe. So Florida State unsuccessful on their challenge. They are charged 1. That is a call confirmed, and it's his back foot that they say Rain does stay on the base. So watch, he's actually going to spike Smith there, and that's what caused his foot to come off, but he keeps that back foot on the bag. So runner at third, and a 2-0 count on Wallace Clark as Florida State brings the infield up. And 3-0 on the Duke shortstop. I just wish we could speed the process of replay up as a whole. And there's a strike.
Well, I think the SEC's got it figured out in terms
Agreed.
of having a primary location that the officials can just communicate with. They're already on top of it.
Strike 2 on Wallace Clark, who will have to issue a mea culpa to Art Thigpen. And Chris Pollard will have a say-so here as well as we take another look.
Yeah, this fastball's down.
Yeah.
Clark known it, but I mean, if you look at game 1 and the
Argue balls and strikes. And that's a similar pitch in a similar spot, but call ball 4.
Yeah, a good no call there by Art Thigpen, 3-2 count, and right after you get an earful from head coach Chris Pollard, to have the patience and understanding the zone, not to ring him up on the next one, as we see another pitching change.
And that'll be it for Hudson Rowan, who comes in, faces 1 batter, issues a walk.
You did. You did.
Just had a hunch. Obi, a 3-run homer in the game yesterday. And ball 1 to the Duke center fielder. Obi, the 9th man to bat this inning. And that's low. Now, what's the definition, in your definition, of batting around? Is it 9 batters, or is it when the 10th guy comes up for a second time?
I would say when the 10th guy gets up.
Oh, be a swing and a miss. I would agree. That was Vin Scully's definition of batting around. So if it's good enough for Vin Scully, it's good enough for me. I don't think there's really a whole lot of debate there either. Obi fouls one back.
Yeah, I trust Vince Scully.
As do I. Think about the career that guy had. All the baseball he saw. Wow. The best to ever do it. The right-hander short, ready to go again. And Obi down on strikes. A low strike, rung up, and Obi, the second out of the inning.
Yeah, the side armor, nice bounce back there. Goes 2-0 and then paints a fastball in a 2-2 count. Freezes up Obi. Obi knew it right away and gets the needed out there for Florida State. Now 2 outs, first and third for Kyle Johnson.
Johnson, who began the inning with a walk. Runner goes, pitches outside, throw comes to second base, and now they've got Bravo hung up. Then the ball hits Bravo, and he's back to third. Stolen base for Wallace Clark.
Yeah, Lodi's gives it up to Jackson West. Bravo actually fell down, got hung up, and then ran in the lane that Jackson West was throwing. West pegs him on the back. Bravo able to get back safely.
So now Johnson can come through with a base hit with tack on 2 more for the Blue Devils. Five runs this inning for Duke to take the 5-run lead. And that one just missed.
Thank you. Go, Kyle. This is not up.
2-2. Johnson hammers the ball out to left field. Ferrer turning at the wall. Gone! An exclamation point from the rookie, Kyle Johnson.
106 off the bat. Kyle Johnson takes a pitch, elevated center cut. Here in Durham, the fans knew it right away. 397 feet for the freshman, a 3-run bomb. And Chris, don't forget, this inning began with Kyle Johnson battling to get the walk there. Exclamation mark with the 3-run shot.
And there's ball 1 to Chase Cruson. Second homer of the year for Johnson. That's the 79th long ball for Duke as a team. And Cruson gets a hold of one to right field. Tibbs going back, and it's back-to-back jacks for Duke.
The freshman for the Blue Devils. This pitch, inner half, barrel extended. Chase Cruson came into the game yesterday and has left his mark on the series. The smile coming from the freshman, Chase Cruson, with a solo shot. Duke extends its lead to 11-2 here in the bottom of the second.
And Zach Morris takes strike 1. And Morris down the left field line. Did he do it? Yes! Back to back to back home runs.
Chris, we talked about this team averaging 17 runs on Sunday. Here in the bottom of the second, they're more than halfway there. This time it's the leadoff guy, Zach Morris. The senior belts this one out to left. Gives Duke the 10-run lead.
State hoping that he can bounce back. He feels good after this outing, and that's a big shot in the arm for this FSU pitching staff as they get into the back half of ACC play. Ben Miller, the 13th man to hit this inning. Rolls one to short. Lodis gobbles it up, and that will be that. A huge second inning for the Duke Blue Devils. Pitching very effectively for the Blue Devils after that 1-2-3 second inning. That was a obviously lengthy bottom of the second for the Blue Devil offense. What's it like for Higgins after he has to sit for that long period of time and now take the ball again?
Yeah, I'm interested if he went down to the bullpen to just stretch out a little bit. I didn't have my eyes on the clock to see how many minutes that inning took or that half inning took, but I imagine that going back out in the mound, he had to be really, really intentional about getting his arm loose again.
Gets ahead of Max Williams here, 0-2. To left center, and a base hit for Williams. Another quality at bat for Williams, who scrambles back to the second base bag. I don't know if he tripped rounding first, but he dove back to the bag there. FSU with another hit.
Yeah, it looks like, just a little trip, diving back just to make sure. I'm sure his buddies are finding enjoyment out of that.
Only thing that got hurt there was his pride, probably. There's a called strike 0-1. I'm still getting ripped from where I fell in one of these fun games out here a few years ago.
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
We'll see if we can pull that video.
Thankfully, there was no video. Swing and a miss by Smith, 0-2.
Know where those outfielders are, center fielders,
You know, I'm not the fleetest of foot, so they didn't have to have slow-mo for me.
You know, I wish I could say that surprises me.
Okay.
But
okay.
Are you going to run the bases after the game?
Only if you come run with me.
Nah.
Too afraid I'm going to beat you in a race?
Yes.
2-2 on Smith. We'll do that one day when there's nobody out here. You start at second, I'll start at home, and we'll race.
We'll see. We'll see. I might not show up that day. I might be ill that day.
Okay.
But
2-2. And the count stays the same on Smith. Big second inning for Duke. 10 runs for the Blue Devils. Second time this year they've scored 10 or more in an inning. Did it against Appalachian State earlier in March. Higgins approaching a season high in pitches. Outside, 3-2.
yeah, it'll be interesting to see with the 10-run cushion how long Coach Pollard will keep Higgins out there. I mean, 57 pitches is the season high for Higgins, and he's already reached that. Oh, my mistake, 72.
Roller to short, diving stop by Clark to Morris for one, and that sails into the Florida State dugout. So they get the lead runner, and then Morris will be charged with his first error of the year.
Really nice pitch by Higgins. gets the ground ball up the middle, and what a play by Wallace Clark. Zach Morris tries to get rid of it quickly, air mills it over Bravo's head, ball gets in the dugout. Morris was asking the umpire about interference in that play. The umpires are talking about it right now.
We may get a review on this one, Rain.
Umpires already getting on top of things, making sure things don't get hairy here in Durham.
And now the throw back gets away. And the runner moves up to third. And 1-0 on Tibbs with a runner now at third base.
Go right out.
The 1-0. Out to center field, struck well. Obi on the move, it's gone! The 18th of the year for the Florida State right fielder.
If there's an offense that can get back into a game like this, it's this one. And it starts with James Tibbs, a hanging breaking ball that he just does not miss. 440 feet off the bat, wind blowing out. And Tibbs tacks on his 18th bomb of the year. This one a 2-run shot.
I don't think it mattered if the wind was blowing in or out. That ball was going to get out of here for Tibbs, who picks up his 24th multi-hit game of the season. And it's an 8-run lead for the Blue Devils.
Go Higgs. On Higgs.
Fastball misses.
Go right out. Go Higgs.
Bullpen empty here for the Blue Devils, so with an 8-run lead, they're going to give Higgins a little bit of a leash here. And you just wonder how having to sit for so long impacted Ryan Higgins in the bottom of the second.
Attack, Higgs. Go.
Three and one.
Yeah, surely that's definitely a factor, but you look at the first inning and it was Cam Smith and James Tibbs who got the scoring started for this offense. So, you know, it might be the sitting, but it also might be the fact that these guys have been seeing Higgins really, really well, and they're swinging it really, really well.
Full count now on Marco Dinges.
Go right here, Marco. Come on. Go. Win this pitch. Let's go, 2-7.
A payoff pitch from Ryan Higgins. Got him looking. 5th strikeout for the Blue Devil right-hander. And Dinges didn't think much of that call.
Yeah, Dinges didn't like the 3-1 call. Definitely did not like the 3-2 fastball on the outside edge. That's definitely a pitcher's pitch, a little too close to take, and Marco Dinges, emotions on his sleeve, does not like the call, but Ryan Higgins gets the K.
On they go.
Now 2 down for Jaime Ferrer. Fouls the first pitch away.
Come on, go right out. On Higgs, on Higgs. Let's go, Higgs.
0-2 on the Florida State left fielder. Ferrer, that first inning walk, moved his on-base streak to 10 straight games. A modest 5-game hitting streak as play opens up on this Sunday. To left field and fair. Johnson gets to it quickly. Ferrer into second with a 2-out double. And there is a 6-game hitting streak for Ferrer.
Jaime Ferrer having a really, really nice weekend. This one gets jammed up by a fastball up and in, but just gets his barrel out to it. Enough power to put it out in left field, enough wheels to roll into second base, and another double on the season for Jaime Ferrer.
4th of the year for Ferrer. And now Cantu takes the ball upstairs. This is obviously probably not what you wanted to see if you're Duke after you score those 10 runs in the second. Florida State gets 2 back here with the Tibbs home run, now looking for more. Time is called as the ball gets away from the Florida State bullpen.
All right.
Higgins approaching a season high in pitches. It's a 1-1 count now on Cantu. Chris Pollard told us before the game today would love to get Higgins through 4 innings, but up over 70 pitches. You wonder if this is the last inning for the Duke right-hander. Upstairs, 2-1. You see the wind ruffling the jerseys here. Breeze blowing as hard as it has all day. 2-2 on Cantu. You see the flags here at Jack Coombs Field. That ends the inning. The 6th strikeout for Higgins on a fast.
So small sample size, but a chance to lengthen the sample size here this afternoon.
AJ Gracia digs in for the Blue Devils. This is the first ACC appearance of the year for Denison, who's behind in the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Denison, a all-star in the Great Lakes League over the summer, coming off a freshman appearance in which he made 18 appearances and 3 starts, 2 and 4 over almost 24 innings of work as a rookie. 3-1 now. He was high school teammates, by the way, with Jamie Arnold. Gracia to right center. Deposits another base hit, his 2nd of the game. And Gracia drops anchor at first with a leadoff single. So Gracia's 2nd hit is also walked, and that brings Alex Stone to the plate. Imagine that pitching staff, though, at Jesuit High School in Tampa with Arnold and Denison. No wonder they won the state championship. Good breaking ball in there for a strike on Stone. But it just goes to show how difficult it is for some guys to make that jump from being one of the best high school pitchers to doing it at a high level in the ACC. Stone nubs 1 foul for strike 2.
Yeah, the ACC, one of the deepest leagues in the country. And talking to Link Jarrett and Chris Pollard ahead of this matchup, there's no fall off point. I mean, talking to Coach Pollard, and he said, yeah, all these ball clubs are good, but I'd put Pitt against any of them. And right now, Pitt not high in the rankings in the ACC, but just speaks to the depth of the ACC.
Stone goes down for that one and pops it up to the right side. Farrow, the 2nd baseman, battles the sun again and makes the catch.
And Chris, you can play the game of shoulda, coulda, woulda, but going back to that 1st inning, the sun ball that allowed Zach Morris to get on to start that inning, eventually tying things up with 2 runs. It was big.
It was. Logan Bravo's been big for the Blue Devils today. 2 for 2, had that 2-run double in that 10-run inning in the second. Bravo may also have the best walk-up song on this Duke team.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
What was your walk-up song when you played?
It's called North Cac. You heard of it?
Not.
It's a local Durham song.
Okay. Who is the artist of said song?
G. Yamazawa. I promise, it's an awesome walk-up song. Folks out there, play it. Let us know what you think.
I would not have guessed the artist or that song in 1,000 guesses.
No, probably not.
Inside ball 3. Who was the artist again?
G. Yamazawa, I think.
G. You can't say I think.
Well, it was a long time ago.
It was like 2 years ago. Bravo takes a strike. Blue Devils by 8 in the third. Ground ball left side, that'll find its way through. It's a 3-hit day for Logan Bravo. And trouble afoot for Duke in the third inning.
Get ahead right here. Get ahead.
I have no idea who this is either. For Wallace Clarksville, yeah, I don't know. What goes into making a good walk-up song?
We got to know your hype number, meaning do you want something to kind of soothe you out a little bit, or do you want something to fire you up?
So are you trying to hype up yourself or trying to hype up the crowd?
A little bit of both, maybe.
What was your philosophy? Trying to hype yourself up?
I definitely was always trying to hype myself up, of course. But
Okay. 0-2 on Clark. So G. Yamazawa not really hyping up the crowd is what you're saying.
No, for sure. I mean, if you go to a Duke football game, you'll hear that song.
Okay.
You might have even heard it on the radio. That's the first song I ever heard on the radio here in Durham was that song. It's a good one, Chris.
So that, did you make it your walk-up song because that was the first song you heard on the radio?
Well, it's a great walk-up song, first of all, and the fact that I had gotten here and listened to it, and this place changed my life. It was kind of best of both worlds.
Okay.
Sentimental, but also hype.
2-2. I don't think they're playing that song on the stations that I listen to.
Yeah, what do you listen to, like NPR?
Wow. Okay.
Nothing wrong with NPR, actually. I really like it.
Apparently so. 2-2. Clark goes around with a check swing, strike 3.
Really nice job by Dennison to bounce back here. Works the breaking ball. Wallace Clark doesn't strike out a ton. Good bat-to-ball skills. But a really, really nice pitch for Ryan Dennison to kind of stunt the threat and get the second out here in the third inning.
Here's Devin Obie, 0 for 2 today, trying to keep the inning alive. Obie, a big 3-run home run for Duke in the game yesterday. Good block by West.
Come 1-3.
2-1 on Obie. I'm going to go listen to this song after the game today.
Yeah,
I will report back to you.
please.
Swing and a miss, 2-2.
I'll show you during the break.
Okay, that's fine with me. I'll give you my unfiltered opinion on it,
I know you will, Chris.
as I usually do. on whatever their name is, the artist. Obi checks his swing and did not go upon appeal, says Justin Whitten, the first base umpire.
This one's close. Florida State wanted it, and I think they have an argument. Tight call, but we play on. 3-2 count.
Runners will be on the move here. 3-2, 2 out. There they go. And that one cued to second. Farrow up with it, and that ends the inning. The Blue Devils threatened but failed to score in an inning for the first time today. Florida State coming to the
Those 16 innings, so we'll look to keep the Noles off the bases with the free pass.
through here the other day. A scoreless inning, gave up 1 hit. It starts, and he starts, Alex Lodis with strike 1 in the 4th. Outside, 1-1. I don't know how I feel about that song.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
To each their own.
Yeah, that's true.
Bottom of the zone strike, 1-2. Like, no, it's not for me, you know, but it's for
Yeah.
you, and it's not for everybody.
Yeah. Well, what would be your walk-up song?
Swing and a miss. I haven't given it a whole lot of thought. They didn't really have walk-up songs in Little League Baseball when I played.
They should have. Now they do. Parents are tugging around a big speaker.
I actually voiced some intros for some kids.
Good deal.
Yeah. One down for Jackson West. Apparently, according to you, my walk-up song should be something from NPR.
No.
Overshift on here against West. And he beats the shift, goes the other way for a base hit. First hit this weekend for West, who was 0 for 5. And a 1-out base runner for Florida State.
Yeah, Ben Miller playing really far in, preventing the bunt potentially, but chops this one over to the left side, and Jackson West gets his first base knock of the weekend. And that's what you got to do if you're Florida State, just tack on runs, a lot of ball game left.
Swing and a miss. Good off speed there from Talon on Drew Farrow, who leads things off. I actually drive around and listen to baseball games.
Me too.
Yeah, like old baseball games on the app.
Oh.
It's outside 1-1. Oh, I'm traveling over today. I threw on a baseball game that was on last night. Just listen to it.
Good deal.
Yeah.
I always go to YouTube and watch Wheels.
Ooh.
Shout out to Wheels.
Okay.
Baseball fans know.
Yeah. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
He clips all the baseball games, not all of them, but a lot of the baseball games. He'll clip them up, and you can go watch the highlights. It's great.
I love it. Ball is life, as they say.
Absolutely.
Foul down the right field line, 1-2. Do you have one particular team that you try to watch games of, or is just whatever is clipped up there?
I'm a fan of all baseball,
Same.
I'd say.
Same. And a really good breaking ball from Talon to get Farrow his second strikeout of the inning. 2 down for the Duke left-hander.
Yeah, Chris, well, we've been yapping about NPR and walk-up songs. James Talon is putting on a clinic. Showed high life with the arm side fastball there. Drops a breaking ball in the inside half to Farrow. Gets his second punch out of the outing.
And misses low here on Max Williams, the Florida State leadoff hitter.
Yeah.
2-0 now on Williams. Ooh, pulled the string nicely there, 2-1. Nasty pitch from Talon.
Yeah, it's gross, especially when you consider Talon will use the fastball 85% of the time, so doesn't go to the slider a ton, but they're a perfectly executed pitch.
Fouled away, and it's 2-2. Talon last year in his rookie season for Duke drew a lot of comparisons to Carson Palmquist, who was the great closer for Miami for a number of years with that, what they call disappearing fastball, that high ride-induced vertical break fastball. 2-2. Goes back to the off-speed, and Talon strikes out. Digs in for Duke and takes the first pitch for ball one. Kids run the bases after the game today. A number of those kids took the field with the Blue Devils prior to the game. And I love all the Little League jerseys, too. Some of those kids might be driving by the time this game ends. Like that kid, he was just a toddler when this game began. And Johnson draws a 4-pitch walk. That's what a 10-run second inning will do for the pace of play. Four walks for the Seminoles this afternoon. Chase Cruson had a home run his last time up, and that is 5 in a row that have missed to start the 4th inning from Ryan Dennison. Six in a row out of the zone. The other way for Cruson, and a little humpback base hit. Cruson's 3rd hit today. That is 4th hit of the weekend. And Cruson, who got the start after coming off the bench yesterday, got paid off by the start today and rewarding his head coach for giving him the start of the 9 spot. Ties his career high with 3 hits. And the top of the order coming up now for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, the bottom of this lineup have been incredible for Duke. And typically, you know, you spotlight the guys 1 through 5, but 8 and 9, Kyle Johnson and Chase Cruson have meant so much to this team here in Game 3.
Well, even Zach Morris is at the plate right now for Duke. You know, we talked in the pregame, or right at the start of the ball game, about how the top 2 guys in the Duke order, Morris and Miller, combined 3 hits over the first 2 games of this series, and Morris 3 hits on his own. And 4 hits today combined for Morris and Miller. So it's been the 8-9 and the 1 and 2 really getting the job done. Low ball 3. And at some point, if you're Florida State, you've just got to have a guy go out there and eat some innings, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and looking at who they've got in the pen, it's pretty thin. I mean, Holtz has already pitched twice this weekend. Got Saucer, Tejeda.
Oxford pitched here on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And ball 4.
And I think that's why you see the leash with Dennison here in the 4th inning. You just don't have many guys behind him.
And here comes Link Jarrett. And that might be the end of the line for Dennison. The Seminole skipper already making the move to the bullpen. That ACC appearance was on March 23rd against Clemson. His last appearance, inning in a 3rd against North Florida earlier this week. one hit, one run. The 1-0 on Miller. Now even on the Duke third baseman. Miller, a tardy swing there, just fought it off. 1-2. Miller hitting .750 this year with the bases loaded. And chases a high fastball at 96. 1 out.
Sophomore came in throwing cheddar. 6'8", high fastball. Ben Miller unable to catch up to it. Yoel Tejeda gets his first punch out of the day and the critical first out of the inning here with the bases juiced, loaded, whatever you want to call it.
Whatever you want to say, yeah. Here's A.J. Gracia. Has yet to be retired today, and he takes a ball low. Back to that fastball, though. We talked about the left Tejeda, 6'8" inches, right? You hear the word extension a lot. So that fastball at 96, he's got such a long wingspan. For Miller, does that make the fastball look like it's even quicker?
Well, it's 96, but it's way closer out of the hand than a guy. I mean, Ryan Dennison's not a short guy, but when you're 6'8", you just have that much more of an advantage when your release point is that much closer.
Called strike on Gracia. How does that impact your timing as a hitter?
You just got to get your foot down early. The problem is Yoel Tejeda throws a really nasty slider as well, so you can't get caught in the middle.
Gracia out to left field. Ferrer loping over and cannot get there. 2-2.
Keep going, yo.
Do you have to commit earlier?
In that count, I mean, you can't completely sit on the fastball,
Sure.
because then you have no chance against the breaking ball. You just gotta get your foot down, and if you do see the breaking ball, you gotta kill time with your legs, keep your hands back, and fight to get the barrel out.
Kill time, like all this is happening in like a 1/10 of a second.
Exactly.
Yeah. 2-2 on Gracia. To center field, Williams slowing at the warning track. Runners tag, Johnson scores, and the Blue Devils back in front by 9. Second RBI of the game for A.J. Gracia. 2 down in the frame, and it's up to Alex Stone if the Blue Devils will cash in. Duke is led by as many as 10 today. He's after that 10-run second. First pitch is fouled away.
Keep working.
Some youngsters scurrying after the souvenir. Stone takes low. Duke, by the way, 12-1 this year, and they score 12 or more runs in a game, or 10 or more runs in a game. Leading by 9 here. And Stone will make it a 10-run lead for the Blue Devils, and then some. It gets past Tibbs in right field. Stone on his way to second base. 2 men score, and the Blue Devils lead 15-4.
Alex Stone has consistently put together nice at-bats all weekend long. This time takes a fastball too much over the white outer half. And it looked like Tibbs thought he was going to get there pretty easily, ends up getting by him. Stone, not known for his speed, gets the double and a couple RBIs for the senior.
It looked pretty awkward there for Tibbs. I thought for a second he might think about diving for that ball. So the Blue Devils back in front by 11 as Bravo takes low. All the runs this inning, all 3 of them charged to Dennison. So he gives up 3 hits and 3 runs in his inning plus. And a long way to go, but that 10-run rule is in effect here today, as it is for all ACC games. Inside, 3-0. Are you a fan of the 10-run lead truncate the game? Or do you
I think so. Yeah, I am. I am. Just to save arms. But also, it is an opportunity when it's lopsided to get young arms in the game, get them some experience.
That's where I went back and forth on it. But I don't hate it.
Yeah, it's a weird rule for baseball fans because especially with both of these offenses, we just saw Duke have a 10-run inning. Like, both of these offenses are capable of coming back down by a lot, but it's usually 1%, 2% of the time that occurs.
2 on, 2 out for Wallace Clark now, who will spin around and hit left-handed. And takes ball 1 low. Clark walked earlier today. It was his 3rd or 2nd walk of the weekend. Takes a strike. Clark is the 8th man to hit this inning for the Blue Devils. Serves one out to left. Ferrer has a read on it, and that ends the inning. 3 more runs. North Carolina play into today, but a lot of baseball left. About 3 weeks left to go as James Talon continues on for a 2nd inning of work. We're all headed towards Charlotte. Remember, 12 teams qualify for the ACC Baseball Championship this year in Uptown Charlotte. Crowd didn't like that strike call from Art Thigpen. 2-1 now. Cam Smith leading it off for the Noles. And a little check swing foul. It's 2-2. Smith on base a couple of times today. A single reached on the fielder's choice. Has scored both times. Talon pitched around a 1-out single in the 4th. Out for a 2nd inning here. Still 2-2.
Go, James. Win right here. Let's go. Come on, Sam. 1-7. Best game spot, James.
Good at bat here by Smith, leading off the 5th inning. But so important to be one of those top 2 seeds, really the top 4 seed in the ACC tournament. 2-2 to right field. Should be playable for Gracia, shy of the warning track, 1 down. The ACC Baseball Championship, again, 12 teams heading to Uptown Charlotte. Off day. You're guaranteed to play 2 games as Tibbs floats one to the left side of the infield for Wallace Clark. Makes the catch for out number 2. Are you okay with that format? Would you like to see it changed? What are your thoughts on the ACC tournament?
I think as a fan, would love to see a double elimination tournament, but in terms of saving arms, especially preparing this league for regional play, I think that's makes more sense as a league to go pool play format. But, as a fan, I would love to see double elimination, all the cards on the table.
Out to center field off the bat of Dingus. Obi is there, and 3 up and 3 down for James Talon in the 5th inning. So an outfield now of Williams, Ross, and Duncan left to right as Obi swings and misses. Kamaka will play 3rd, and the catcher will be Jackson. Those are the only infield changes for Florida State. Obi takes a strike. It's 0-2. So if your scorebook was not enough of a mess before, it's even more of a mess now. OB rolls one foul. Back to that conversation of the conference tournament, I do agree. You don't want to blow through all your arms right before postseason play begins. But it's also an opportunity, and people would argue that there are meaningless games in this format. You could make a case for that, but if you're a bubble team and you're fighting to get into the NCAA tournament and you've got a chance to win another game against the top 20 RPI club, that's going to help you from your postseason standings. I'm also curious to see, as Obi takes the ball, what the format looks like moving forward next year with the addition of Cal and Stanford to the ACC. Of course, SMU joining the conference, but they do not field a baseball team. Kind of like Syracuse. Line to left, a base hit. Obi's first hit today, and the leadoff man aboard for the Blue Devils. And Kyle Johnson, who's had a tremendous series at the plate, 3 for 3 on Friday, had a 3-run home run here earlier. Tried to hit another one there, but came up empty. Swing and a miss.
Cleo. Yep.
And on the outside corner, strike 3. So Johnson strikes out looking.
Yeah, just a fastball paints the outside edge, freezes up Johnson. And Tejeda's got really, really good stuff, and that's kind of been the theme for Link Jarrett in this bullpen is he knows he's got the guys that have the stuff. It's a matter of putting things together, giving guys experience, and bridging the gap between throwing bullpens and throwing live at practice and being in the game moments. And the more reps that these young guys get out on the mound against ACC opponents, the better they'll be in the future.
Chase Cruson digs in, behind in the count now, 1 strike. Cruson has tied his career high with 3 hits for Duke today.
Really good.
Down 2 strikes in the 5th.
Battle here, crew, battle here.
Outside.
Keep going, let's go. Go, Chase.
1 on, 1 out for Duke in the 5th. And Cruson stays alive.
Oh, baby, yo. Get him right here. Come on, Chase.
Duke, who is yet to be swept in a series in the ACC, trying to keep that streak alive here as Cruson swings over top of a nasty breaking ball. The 3rd strikeout for Tejeda.
Yeah, the whiff rate on the slider to these left-handers is pretty high. You can see it there. Nasty, nasty pitch. And Cruson, who has been so hot since game 2 yesterday, very, very hot today, swings and misses, and Yohel Tejeda gets his 3rd K of the day.
Back to the top of the order now, and Zach Morris. He fouls the first pitch back for strike 1. Tejeda seems to have become the guy that's just going to eat some innings here for Florida State. Nobody up in the bullpen. Runner goes, pitch is fouled back, 0-2.
Let's go, yo.
Interesting there in an 11-run game. Obi was on the move.
I mean, that just shows the respect to Florida State and their offense. Healthy lead, but never know, Chris.
Especially in this age of college baseball. And that's strike 3. So Morris down looking. Tejeda strikes out the side after the leadoff single by. And it'll be Riley Jackson who will start things here for Florida State. And Jackson behind in the count, or now evens the count, 1-1. Called a strike, 1-2. Yeah, you talked with Coach Pollard a lot about that new pitch that Bielenson, that new cut fastball that Bielenson has implemented into his repertoire for this year and how it's been so effective for the Blue Devil. Closer as he gets another swing and a miss and another strikeout.
Yeah, well, if you look at the numbers from last year, you'll see he had a harder time getting lefties out. And so him and pitching coach Brady Kirkpatrick went to the drawing board and established a cut fastball that works really, really well into left-handed hitters. He has a ton of command with that pitch. And when you mix that in with a high-level changeup that he throws consistently and the fastball, I mean, Coach Pollard thinks this guy will be a big league pitcher within 2 years.
I would agree with that. Lands triple the pinch hitter digs in. Saw a podcast that Bielenson did, and he talked about just his mindset as a closer where he comes in and he doesn't worry about anything else. It's just him throwing to the catcher, and he tries to not worry about any of the other ancillary things, which is probably a good mindset for a closer to have.
Yeah, I might have listened to the same one. I think it's called ACC Baseball, etc., just to give them a shout out. But and he talked about how he loves the game of baseball. And coming out of high school, he didn't think he was ACC caliber player. Went to Brown, had a great career there, and shot Coach Pollard an email. Said, "Hey, I'd love to come down to Durham." And Coach Pollard said, "Come on down." And what a decision that was. He has been the MVP according to Coach Pollard, and he said it's not even close in terms of what he's meant to this program, what he's meant to this team.
Fouled away there by Triple. Got a piece of stone. Today is the 87th career appearance for Charlie Bielenson, as that one bounced to short. Big Sunday hop for Wallace Clark. 2 down. Bielenson, who set the program record with 39 appearances last year, and he's a guy that if you asked him could probably throw every single day.
Yeah, he wants the ball. I mean, and he's talked about, too, his progression to understand what his arm needs on a day-to-day basis. And he's a guy that likes to walk from the bullpen to the dugout, back to the bullpen. He says his step count is incredibly high during games and just an ultimate competitor for this ball club.
Swing and a miss. And that doesn't work for everybody. But for him, just wants to be engaged in the game, right? 0-2. Bielenson way ahead. And a nasty breaking ball will end the inning for Bielenson. A pair of punch-outs, and that is Duke in the first inning. And that one hit him right in the rib cage. maybe on the hip. A fastball at 95. Ouch.
You could hear the crowd. Fastball, arm side run, right into the ribs of Ben Miller. Coach Pollard gonna jog out, take a look at the senior, but man, the bruise on that one's gonna be fierce, Chris.
Yes, it is. And he's going to stay in. By the way, Triple is at third, Holbrook is at first, and Fisher is at short for Florida State. If you're watching the game at home and trying to score the game with us, God bless you. Gracia fouls the first pitch away, strike one. That's how I learned to keep score, though.
That's a good way to do it,
watching baseball on TV, watching the Braves on TBS.
Wow.
The one-strike pitch, outside.
Good pitch, AJ. Come on, AJ.
How did you learn to keep score?
I think just doing games.
Outside, 2-1.
I mean, this game has tested my skills completely in terms of my penmanship.
My book looks like a kindergarten art project.
Good.
Popped up, out of play. After Triple gave it a look, 2-2. That was in amongst the children who are fighting after a souvenir. Blue Devils by 11. Nothing wrong with the velocity from Tejeda after 42 pitches, still up in the mid-90s. And a swing and a miss. Goes from 94 to that wipeout breaking ball. About 10 miles an hour slower, strike three.
Yeah, and to get a guy as hot as AJ Gracia has been all series long, and mentioned it just a few minutes ago, but not many bright spots for the Noles here today, but Yoel Tejeda, the way he's come in and pitched and filled the zone and used that breaking ball, that is a bright spot for Link Jarrett and the rest of his crew.
Alex Stone lines the first pitch foul. Pops that one up. The shortstop, Fisher, makes the play. Two down in the last of the sixth inning. And Logan Bravo will be the batter. In the seventh inning, Florida State will have the 8, 9, and 1 hitters due up. And will need a couple of runs to keep the game alive, depending on the outcome of this at bat. A low strike on Bravo, says Art Thigpen, the home plate umpire. Despite the outcome today, a solid weekend for the Seminoles, taking the first two games from the Blue Devils. And the first two games of this series really felt like a postseason type atmosphere. A couple of teams that were battling and could be playing for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so much good baseball the first two games in this matchup, and the crowd came here in Durham, North Carolina. The crowd was loud, and for Florida State, obviously this game puts a sour taste in your mouth, but looking at the first 2 games in this series, you had so much offensive depth at the top of your lineup, the bottom of your lineup, and you had good arms coming out of the pen. I mean, in particular, Brendan Oxford in Game 1 was huge for this team, following up Jamie Arnold. And then, of course, Cam Smith and James Tibbs deserve their flowers, but to me, Marco Dinge's 3-run shot in the 5th, 3-2 count with 2 outs and a painted fastball on the outside edge was kind of a swing, if you will. It swung the series completely in the Noles dugout. Of course, Duke a swing away in both of those ball games from tying or winning, but what a job for Florida State.
Hot shot by Bravo into left center field, and they'll be at the corners for the Blue Devils. No, racing around third, Miller, and scoring from first.
And Logan Bravo is having quite the day. Duke base running, taking advantage of the new fielders, outfield and infield. Logan Bravo barrels this one left center. Cal Fisher dives, unable to make the glove on it. Ben Miller gets the round, and not expecting him to go home. Florida State goes to second. You can hear Riley Jackson, the catcher for Florida State, yelling for the middle infielders. Did not hear him, and Duke steals another one.
So Miller first to third after being, or first to home after being hit by the pitch. Bravo, by the way, a 4-hit day, matches his career high, and 1-1 now on Wallace Clark.
Come boys. Come on, Sam. Wallace.
Fastball misses low.
Finish it, baby. Finish it, baby. Let's go. Go on. Good.
Strike, 2-2.
Right here, yo.
Tejeda, the 7th pitcher used by FSU today. Comebacker over the mound. The shortstop, Fisher, and it's dropped by Holbrook at first, and the inning continues. That was a really tough play once it got past the 6'8" pitcher.
Yeah, the 6'8" frame, not quite tall enough to get the bouncer from Clark. Watch Cal Fisher. I mean, he does a really nice job of getting over, throwing on the run, quick transfer, but it's the throw. Arm side takes Holbrook up the line, unable to come up with it. And Wallace Clark uses the wheels to find his way on.
And a pitching change for Florida State. Tejeda's day is the 8th man to throw for FSU, including the Seminoles throwing 4 guys in the 2nd inning. And the inning that the Blue Devils really turned the game around, scoring 10 times in the frame. Obi takes a strike, 1-1. But as we mentioned earlier, no midweek game for either of these teams. And Florida State, if they can get Barrett back, and he threw 2 pitches today, but his first outing in well over a month. If they can get him back and get some other guys trending in the right direction, you've got to feel good about where you're at as a staff, especially the way your first 2 guys threw in the series. 2-2 on Obi.
Yeah, and the way Carson Dorsey threw yesterday. I mean, talked about Brennan Oxford in Game 1. They have the arms to compete in a 3-game series. It's the Game 3.
Obi takes low, and even Jamie Arnold, who started the game on Friday for Florida State, had that, I guess, call it a shaky by his standard first inning, but really settled it after that.
Yeah, absolutely. And even Abraham last night coming into a hot situation, the freshman getting out of that inning, and for Duke, I mean, runners in scoring position, 2nd and 3rd, less than 2 outs. Abraham, the freshman, comes in, shuts the door. That's a huge momentum builder as well for the bullpen, and confidence builder for the freshman in Abraham.
So Obi coaxes the walk, bases are loaded, and it's Tyler Albright who will get his first chance to hit today.
Come on, Joe.
Albright came on to play left field a couple innings ago, spelling Kyle Johnson. Kyle Johnson is going to be upset to see the Florida State pitching staff leave town. 3 for 3 on Friday, a 3-run home run today. Now Albright serves one to center field. Ross on the warning track makes the play and ends the inning. The Blue Devils leave the bases loaded in the 6th, and Florida State will need at least. The game will be over by virtue of that 10-run rule. Ground ball to first. Took a tough hop on Bravo, but he takes it to the bag himself. 1 down.
Really nice job there by Logan Bravo to stay down that baseball, Chris. You said it, kind of a weird hop that kind of skipped low, but a nice job by the first baseman to stick with it and get the first out of the inning.
Drew Farreau, the batter now, 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. It's been a really well-pitched game for the Blue Devils. Florida State just 2 runs after that first inning. And we thought today, Duke was hoping just to get the game to the 6th inning or through 6 innings and turn it over to Bielenson, but obviously the 10 runs certainly held, but a great job by Higgins to give Duke 3 innings, and Talon was great for his 2 innings this afternoon.
Yeah, when you look at the series as a whole and you kind of zoom out, it kind of checks out, right? The Duke bullpen has been consistent all year long in terms of having depth, dealing with some injuries, 40 games into the year now, plus both of these ball clubs desperately needing a week off, but I mean, the depth in the Duke bullpen has been on display here today.
And Bielenson gets Farreau on strikes, his 3rd strikeout.
Yeah, Bielenson has just made it look easy so far this year. This one, that nasty changeup. And he doesn't throw a typical changeup, a circle change. He describes it as a backwards curveball in terms of he pronates so much, and he said it's taken years to get really comfortable and have command over how he wants to throw that pitch every time. But when that pitch is on, when you match it with the breaking ball and you match that with the 95-mile-per-hour fastball, Bielenson is so hard to beat.
And 1-1 now, the count on Fisher.
Go, Chuck. Go, Chuck.
Rolls over to short. Wallace Clark is there. He's got it. And the Blue Devils claim the series finale in 7 innings from Florida State.